You've probably found yourself in situations where chaos surrounds you, yet some people remain untouchable, calm, centered, and in complete control. What do they know that you don't? Today, I'm going to reveal 12 silent strategies rooted in ancient Stoic wisdom that will transform how you navigate life's challenges. These aren't just philosophical concepts, they're practical weapons for the modern warrior who chooses silence over noise, strength over reaction, and wisdom over emotion. The Stoics understood something profound. True power comes not from what you say or do, but from what you choose not to say and do. This is the art of strategic silence, and by the end of this journey, you'll possess the tools to master any situation with the quiet confidence of a true Stoic. But first, let me ask you this. Are you tired of being reactive? Tired of letting external circumstances dictate your internal state? Then stay with me, because today we're going to change that forever. Strategy 1. The power of the silent response. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Picture this scenario. Someone deliberately tries to provoke you, expecting an emotional outburst. Instead of taking the bait, you respond with complete silence, not the cold shoulder, but the powerful silence of someone who cannot be shaken. This isn't about being passive. This is about being strategic. When you remain silent in the face of provocation, you accomplish 3 things simultaneously. First, you maintain your energy instead of wasting it on meaningless conflicts. Second, you force the other person to reveal their true intentions without any input from you. Third, you demonstrate a level of self-control that commands respect even from your adversaries. The ancient Stoics knew that silence is not emptiness, it's fullness. It's the fullness of complete self-possession. When you master the silent response, you transform from someone who reacts to circumstances into someone who creates them. Here's how to implement this. The next time someone tries to drag you into drama, take a deep breath, maintain eye contact, and say nothing. Let the silence speak for itself. Watch how uncomfortable it makes them and how much it empowers you. Strategy 2. Emotional detachment from outcomes. Epictetus taught us, don't demand that things happen as you wish. They will happen as they happen. Accept this reality and be happy. Imagine investing months in a project only to see it fail spectacularly. The untrained mind spirals into anger, frustration, and self-doubt. But the Stoic mind? It observes the failure with the same detachment as it would observe the weather. This doesn't mean you stop caring about results. It means you care more about the process than the outcome. You give your absolute best effort, then release attachment to what happens next. Think of yourself as an archer. Your job is to aim precisely, draw the bow with proper form, and release the arrow with perfect technique. Once that arrow leaves your bow, it's no longer under your control. Wind, gravity, and countless other factors determine where it lands. Moment you attach your self-worth to outcomes you cannot fully control, you become a slave to circumstances. But when you find satisfaction in the excellence of your effort, rather than the unpredictability of results, you become unshakable. Practice this by celebrating your effort as much as your victories. When things don't go as planned, ask yourself, did I do my best with what was under my control? If the answer is yes, then you've already succeeded where it matters most. Strategy 3. The art of strategic invisibility. Seneca observed, "Every new thing excites the mind, but a mind too much excited often gives itself up wholly to what it finds new and quits what it ought to do." In our age of constant self-promotion and attention-seeking, true power lies in strategic invisibility. This means choosing when to be seen and heard, rather than demanding attention at every opportunity. Consider the master chess player who doesn't announce every move but plays with quiet calculation. While others exhaust themselves seeking validation and recognition, you build real strength in the shadows. Strategic invisibility allows you to observe without being observed, to learn without revealing your knowledge, and to plan without showing your hand. It's not about hiding. It's about choosing your moments of visibility for maximum impact. When you stop needing external validation for every action, you free yourself to take risks others won't take, to pursue goals others can't see, and to develop skills others don't know you possess. The loudest person in the room is rarely the most powerful. The most powerful person is often the one you barely notice until it matters. Strategy 4. Transforming obstacles into advantages. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Every obstacle contains within it the seeds of opportunity, but only for those trained to see it. The Stoic doesn't just endure difficulties, they metabolize them into strength. When faced with a setback, your first instinct might be to ask, "Why is this happening to me?" The Stoic asks a different question. How can I use this to become stronger, wiser, or more resilient? Lost your job? Now you have the freedom to pursue something that truly excites you. Relationship ended. Now you can focus on becoming the person you want to be. Health challenge? Now you can develop discipline and appreciation for what you have. This isn't toxic positivity, it's practical wisdom. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can always control how you frame what happens to you. And how you frame it determines whether it weakens or strengthens you. The obstacle is the path because it forces you to develop capacities you never knew you had. It strips away illusions and reveals what truly matters. It transforms you from someone who merely survives difficulties into someone who thrives because of them. Strategy 5. The discipline of present moment awareness. Epictetus taught, "The mind that is not baffled is not employed. The impeded stream is the one that sings." While everyone around you is anxious about the future or regretful about the past, you have access to the only moment where real power exists, right now. Present moment awareness isn't just mindfulness, it's tactical awareness. When you're fully present, you notice opportunities others miss, you respond rather than react, and you make decisions from clarity rather than confusion. Most people live their lives on autopilot, reacting to thoughts about things that aren't even happening. But when you anchor your attention in the present moment, you gain access to your full intelligence, creativity, and intuition. This is how masters in any field operate. The surgeon in the operating room isn't thinking about yesterday's argument or tomorrow's bills. They're completely absorbed in the precision of the present task. Practice this by setting specific times each day to be completely present with whatever you're doing. When eating, focus entirely on the taste, texture, and experience of the food. When walking, feel your feet touching the ground. When listening to someone, give them your complete attention. This discipline transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary, and ordinary people into extraordinary ones. Strategy 6. Mastering the inner dialogue. Seneca wrote, "The mind that is anxious about future misfortunes is miserable." Your inner dialogue is perhaps the most powerful force in your life, yet most people let it run wild. The Stoic takes control of this internal conversation and uses it as a tool for strength rather than suffering. Notice how often your mind creates problems that don't exist, fears that never materialize, and scenarios that never happen. The untrained mind is like a hyperactive child, constantly seeking drama and excitement, but you can train this mind. When you catch yourself in negative self-talk, don't fight it, redirect it. Instead of, "This is terrible," try, "This is challenging and I'm equal to it." Instead of, "I can't handle this," try, "I'm learning how to handle this." The goal isn't to become delusionally positive, but to become ruthlessly realistic. And the reality is that you're far more capable than your fears suggest, far more resilient than your doubts indicate, and far more powerful than your worries allow. Your inner dialogue either empowers or enslaves you. Choose to make it your ally rather than your enemy. Strategy 7. The sacred. No, Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "It is not death that a man should fear, but never beginning to live." In a world that demands your attention, energy, and time, from every direction, your ability to say no becomes a superpower. But this isn't just any no, this is the sacred no, born from a clear understanding of your values and priorities. Every yes you give to something unimportant is a no to something essential. Every commitment you make to please others is a betrayal of your authentic path. The sacred no protects your most valuable resources for your most important purposes. The person who cannot say no is not generous. They're confused. They confuse people-pleasing with kindness, busyness with productivity, and availability with value. When you say no to the good, you make space for the great. When you decline opportunities that don't align with your deepest values, you create space for the ones that do. Practice the sacred no by first getting clear on what truly matters to you. Then, when opportunities arise, measure them against these priorities. If they don't align, decline with kindness, but without apology. Your time and energy are finite. Invest them like the precious resources they are. Strategy 8. Becoming anti-fragile. The Stoics understood something that modern psychology is just beginning to grasp. Some things don't just survive stress, they actually get stronger. Because of it, while fragile things break under pressure and robust things resist pressure, anti-fragile things improve under pressure. Your goal is to become anti-fragile in every area of your life. Physically, you become anti-fragile through progressive challenge. Exercise that pushes your limits makes you stronger. Emotionally, you become anti-fragile by exposing yourself to manageable stresses that build resilience. Intellectually, you become anti-fragile by seeking out ideas that challenge your beliefs and experiences that expand your perspective. Spiritually, you become anti-fragile by finding meaning in suffering and purpose in adversity. The anti-fragile person doesn't just survive chaos, they use chaos as fuel for growth. They don't just endure criticism, they mine it for wisdom. They don't just weather storms, they let storms make them stronger. This requires a fundamental shift in how you view difficulty. Instead of seeing challenges as threats to avoid, you start seeing them as opportunities to evolve. Strategy 9. The long game perspective. Seneca counseled, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." While others get caught up in the drama of immediate circumstances, you develop the ability to see the larger patterns at play. This long-game perspective allows you to make decisions that serve your future self rather than just your present impulses. Think of yourself as both the chess player and the chess piece. As the piece, you're subject to the immediate moves and pressures of the game, but as the player, you can see the entire board and plan several moves ahead. The person with a long game perspective doesn't get rattled by temporary setbacks because they understand that setbacks are often setups for comebacks. They don't get intoxicated by temporary victories because they know that real victory is built through sustained effort over time. This perspective also helps you choose your battles wisely. When you can see the bigger picture, you realize that most conflicts are just distractions from your larger purpose. Ask yourself regularly, how will this matter in 10 years? This simple question will help you distinguish between what deserves your energy and what doesn't. Strategy 10. Controlled emotional expression. Epictetus taught, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." This doesn't mean suppressing emotions, it means expressing them strategically. The Stoic feels deeply but expresses selectively, always in service of their larger goals, rather than as a prisoner of their immediate impulses. Controlled emotional expression means you can access the full range of human emotions without being controlled by them. You can feel anger without being angry, experience fear without being fearful, and encounter sadness without being sad. This gives you tremendous power in relationships and negotiations. While others are reactive and predictable, you're responsive and strategic. You can choose to show emotion when it serves your purpose and withhold it when it doesn't. The key is developing what psychologists call emotional granularity, the ability to distinguish between different emotional states and choose your response. Accordingly, practice this by creating space between feeling and expression. When you notice a strong emotion arising, pause and ask, how can I express this in a way that serves my highest good and the highest good of others? Strategy 11. The practice of voluntary discomfort. Seneca regularly practiced what he called poverty days, deliberately exposing himself to discomfort to build resilience and appreciation. While everyone else seeks maximum comfort, you deliberately seek manageable discomfort. This isn't masochism, it's insurance. By voluntarily experiencing small difficulties, you build the strength to handle large ones. Take cold showers to build willpower. Skip meals occasionally to develop discipline. Sleep on the floor sometimes to reduce dependency on luxury. Walk instead of driving to build physical and mental toughness. These practices serve multiple purposes. They break your addiction to comfort, they build confidence in your ability to handle hardship, and they increase your appreciation for the good things you do have. The person who has never been uncomfortable is vulnerable to any discomfort. But the person who has trained with discomfort becomes unshakable when real challenges arise. This also applies to emotional discomfort. Instead of avoiding difficult conversations, seek them out. Instead of running from anxiety, sit with it. Instead of distracting yourself from loneliness, explore it. Strategy 12. The silent exit. Sometimes the most powerful statement you can make is no statement at all. The silent exit is the ultimate expression of self-respect, removing yourself from situations that don't serve you without explanation, argument, or drama. When someone consistently disrespects your boundaries, you don't lecture them about respect. You simply remove your presence. When a relationship becomes toxic, you don't try to fix it. You quietly disengage. The silent exit is not about punishment or revenge. It's about self-preservation and self-respect. It's about valuing your peace of mind more than your need to be right or understood. This requires tremendous strength because it goes against our natural desire to explain ourselves, defend our position, or get the last word. But sometimes, the most powerful word is no word at all. The silent exit teaches others how to treat you more effectively than any speech ever could. It demonstrates that your presence is a privilege, not a right, and that you value yourself enough to remove that privilege when it's not appreciated. Conclusion: the integrated Stoic. We've covered 12 powerful strategies, but the real magic happens when you integrate them into a complete system of living. You're not just learning techniques, you're developing a new identity. You're becoming someone who responds rather than reacts, who creates rather than merely consumes, who leads rather than follows. You're developing the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can handle whatever life throws at you. The integrated Stoic doesn't need to announce their strength. It radiates from their presence. They don't need to seek respect. They command it through their actions. They don't need to fight for their worth. They demonstrate it through their choices. This is not the end of your journey, but the beginning. Each day offers new opportunities to practice these strategies, to refine your character, and to become more of who you're meant to be. Remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. The goal isn't to never feel challenged, it's to become stronger through challenge. The goal isn't to control everything, it's to master yourself. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. You now have the tools. The question is, will you use them? The choice, as always, is yours. But I suspect that if you've made it this far, you've already made your decision." Welcome to the path of the modern Stoic. The journey begins now.